No DQ Galaxy, we are live with predictions for the 2024 AEW All Out pay-per-view event. We're coming off All In just a couple of weeks ago. We're back with another pay-per-view, coming back to Chicago for this one. I have the No DQ panel with us tonight to do predictions. We have 8 matches confirmed as of now, and those are the matches we will be predicting. Knowing AEW, they'll probably add 4 or 5 matches on Collision and Rampage. It is what it is, but we need to get this video done, so here we are. Jerry Slaughter, it's always a pleasure to have you on. Welcome back to the predictions panel. How's it going, and how excited are you for All Out on a scale of 1 to 10?
I'm going to go ahead and say about 7.5 to 8. For most part, I was wondering how the hell they're going to pull off, 2 shows so close together, especially like pay-per-views. It's like premium live events I kind of understand because you're not really paying for those, you're just paying for the network. But to shell out like $50 or $60 for 2 AEW shows within like a month's time, it's kind of rough. But I can actually see paying for this one if I did pay for pay-per-views. And the build for it within just this amount of time has been great. Granted, there are a couple ready-made feuds, like with the Hangman Page and Swerve. But I'm excited to talk about it, and I'm pretty stoked for his pay-per-view.
There you have it. TJS, you've been on many videos over the years here on No DQ. You've seen a lot. You've been with us for this ride that has been AEW. How are you feeling about this show?
Well, I'll be honest. I was not going to buy this show. I wasn't even going to watch it. Because last year All Out kind of sucked because they did All In and All Out so close together. I mean, it's pretty close this time around, but it was literally the next week last time. Main event was Moxley versus Cassidy for a mid-card title last year. I wasn't going to buy the show, but I watched the segment where what happened with Hangman and Swerve. And then after I saw that segment, I looked at the card, and this is no laughing matter. I decided to purchase the show. I used Bleacher Report. Aaron, I didn't know this, but apparently I think you purchased through Triller and got a discount or something.
Yes, $15 off 2 pay-per-views.
Okay, well, I'm a sucker because I paid 50 plus tax for each one. So I'm a sucker, but overall, to sum it up, they sold me on the show. Dynamite sold me on the show. I looked at the card and sold me on the show. Their business succeeded. They got my money, and I'm going to give this probably an 8 out of 10. So it looks good.
All right. Thank you for that, TJS. And now we turn it over to Dwayne. Welcome back, Dwayne. You've been on a couple of videos as of late. Always a pleasure to have you on. What are your thoughts on this show? Coming back 2 weeks after All In. Your thoughts?
I'm pretty stoked about it, believe it or not. I was kind of like what Jerry said. I just wasn't expecting much when he only got a 2-week build for a pay-per-view, man. But the last 2 weeks, they really delivered. A couple feuds have been spot on. A lot of them has been added fuel to the fire, no pun intended. But, it's all out. It's going to be a great pay-per-view, I think. And unfortunately, I won't be watching it, but I will be catching up on it, and I will probably be buying the recap. But, I'm going probably about an 8 or 9 on this one as well.
Wow. I might be the least hyped of anybody in this room. I'm at about a 6 right now for this show. No, I'm serious. I'm feeling the pay-per-view fatigue. We just had All In. We had Bash in Berlin. We had NXT No Mercy. And now we have this 4th pay-per-view in like a 3-week span. And it's not the best put together card. There is one match that to me is above the others by a significant margin. And I think you guys know which match I'm talking about. Let's get to the card. We got 8 matches. We should be able to get through this relatively quickly. My biggest issue with the card, too, is just the overall predictability of most of these matches. There's only like 2 or 3 matches where I'm not really sure about the outcome. But let's start with the Continental Championship. Now, the problem with this one, just goes to show how quickly thrown together this match was. We still don't know all of the participants in this match. We're going to find out on Collision the day before the show all of the participants for the match. So Okada is defending the Continental title against the winners of these 3 matches. It's going to be a 4-way match. We got Orange Cassidy versus Bryan Keith. So Orange Cassidy's winning that one. Lance Archer versus Mark Briscoe. I mean,
Archer.
Archer doesn't.
We'll find out who the other one is first.
You think so?
I figure it's going to be 2 heels and 2 faces.
Okay.
Now, see, I would like to see Archer in the match, but he usually does the job. He rarely wins the big ones.
Maybe with Archer, he's actually he's not like on the main show at this point, but he's done pretty much a tear since he came back. So it'd be nice to give him a little bit of exposure. Plus, it's like you want like at least one of the big man type characters in there, and Lance Archer kind of fills that void. So.
Right. I would be fine with Archer, but I feel like it's going to be Briscoe. And then we have Konosuke Takeshita versus the Beast Mordos.
Okay. So I'll go with Mark Briscoe and Takeshita.
Yeah, I think Takeshita will be the one in this match. Now, I kind of agree with Ian. Pick Okada and let's move on here. Like, regardless of I really feel it's irrelevant. I think of all those names, doesn't matter who's in it, Okada's still winning. I don't really have much to say about it. I think Okada wins. TJS, what do you think?
Well, I don't know why you're skipping. Like, what if I wanted to pick Bryan Keith?
Go ahead. Pick Bryan Keith then.
No. I mean, so I actually I took some short notes, and for this match, I wrote down Okada 4-way should be fun. We don't see those often in AEW. So I do agree with that. I agree with my own note that a 4-way match will be fun, but very predictable, like you said. It does not matter who the participants are. Okada's retaining. That's it.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's pretty straightforward on this one. Dwayne, it should be a good match, but I think the outcome of this is very predictable. What do you think?
I agree with you. My only concern would be is when's Eddie Kingston supposed to be coming back?
Not for a while.
Is it for a while? Then I think it's safe to bet with Okada.
Yeah, I don't think Kingston's coming back till early 2025.
What happened?
Like Roman Reigns is with the WWE, don't bet against Okada in AEW.
Oh, Kingston broke his leg a while back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. All right, Jerry, what do you think?
As much as I'd love to have Takeshita wear a belt at this point, I don't think it's going to be Okada's belt because he's kind of, as much as he's not really impressing in the ring like he should be, he's at his like whole aura and everything with the elite at this point is just based a lot around that belt. So I think they're going to keep it on him for a little bit longer.
All right, there you have it. 1 match down. We got 7 to go. We got Kris Statlander versus Willow Nightingale in a Chicago street fight. Now, the betting odds are close on this one. Willow Nightingale got to pick the match stipulation because her team won at All In during the kickoff, which makes me think that it'll be 50-50. Kris Statlander will get the win. It's kind of weird because Kris Statlander's the heel, and you have the babyface booking the stipulation. I feel like Kris Statlander is going to somehow pull off a victory here with some shenanigans or whatever. I go Kris Statlander. Jerry, what do you think?
I think with the inclusion of Stokely Hathaway, something else is afoot. Chances are you'll either have somebody else, like, in the wings ready to help Kris, or he'll become a factor in some way, shape, or form. So I'm going to go ahead and go with Kris Statlander as well.
All right, thank you for that. In chat room, thank you for leaving your comments. I'm putting some of them up on the screen. Give us your thoughts as we go through each match. Dwayne Atkinson, I'll throw it over to you now with your thoughts.
I tend to want to agree with y'all on Kris Statlander, but however, I saw today they're building Willow Nightingale to defend their CMLL title at the 91st anniversary or the 91st showing, whatever it is they're building for. So it makes me wonder, are they going to allow a different company's title to win on an AEW show? Makes me wonder if that's going to happen or not. This is the one that we were talking about before we went on the air that I was skeptical on how to predict it. I'm just going to take the safe bet on this one. I think Willow Nightingale is going to win it.
All right. Well, I don't care about this CMLL title, but you may be onto something with that. I'm just sticking with my gut, 50-50, and the odds being stacked against Kris. I'm just going with that mentality, but you could be right. TJS, you could tie it up here with Dwayne and make it 2-2.
Well, let me consult my notes. I said Willow versus Kris should be all right. I love street fights, and Kris is fine as hell. So, look, heels are favored in no DQ matches, I think.
Yes.
So, I think I'm going to agree that Statlander pulls this one out because she can cheat and get away with it. And I feel like Willow is like the white meat baby face where she's not going to do something like that. She would never cheat, and maybe it's going to cost her. So, yeah, Kris wins. I had no idea that Willow was even like the CMLL champion, or I don't follow. Well, I follow AEW, but I don't watch it weekly. But CMLL,
they'll probably say it about 5 or 6 times during the match. But otherwise.
Yeah.
But that'll also make it like Kris winning that much more important, because then they can say like, then Willow can go defend the title, keep the title, and then Kris can challenge for it. So that gives you a little bit of something to seek.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, yeah. So Kris wins.
All right, there you have it. 2 down. We got 6 to go. Next up, we have MJF going up against Daniel Garcia in a grudge match. Now, the betting odds are very close on this one. MJF is a very slight favorite. On Dynamite, MJF got the final glory heading into this show. He bloodied up Daniel Garcia, hit him in the head with glass, left him laying. And usually when this happens, the person who's on top ends up losing at the pay-per-view. So, Dwayne, I'll throw it over to you first on this one. With that all being said, what are your thoughts on this match? Should be a good one. Should be a really good match, actually. What do you think?
One of the matches I'm looking forward to the most. But however, you left out one key thing that happened last night. He told Garcia that he has lit something in him that he has not felt for a very long time. And that's what makes me worried that he's going to go at all stops on this one. As bad as I think Garcia probably needs this win, I don't think they're going to have MJF lose 2 pay-per-views in a row as well. I've got to go with MJF on this one.
Oh, wow. All right. There you have it. That's one for MJF. TJS, what do you think? Some people are getting sick and tired of MJF, and, Daniel Garcia could use a win. He's trying to build some momentum. What do you think is going to happen?
Okay. Well, I wrote, don't care about MJF versus Garcia. It's Garcia. I cannot care. I'm sorry. But Aaron, it sounds like Garcia cut a pretty good promo last night from what I heard in your recap.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess Garcia's the babyface now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I agree. I don't think MJF is losing again. Okay, this one's actually harder to call than I was expecting because okay. You know what? I'm going with Garcia because MJF did get the last laugh, like you said, Aaron, and I could see like the fruit roll up or something happening in this match, and where the feud has to continue. And if MJF wins, I feel like Garcia has nothing to go off of. So Garcia wins.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree. I feel like Garcia really needs the win. If the reports are true and Garcia has signed a new deal with AEW, you gotta build up your property and your investment. You gotta make them meaningful. MJF can take a loss, but can Garcia take a loss? He really needs a win, in my opinion. This is make or break for him. This is probably the most important match of his career, biggest match of his career. Like, this is a real test. Can Daniel Garcia potentially be a top tier guy? I know that A lot of people are critical of him, as am I. Like, I don't feel he's the most charismatic guy by any stretch of the imagination, but he's a good wrestler, and this will be a real test for him to see how he can perform in this spot and what kind of heat they can get for this. This could be a star-making performance, but it could also be a bust. What will happen? Who knows? But I'm going to say Garcia wins and pulls off the big victory over MJF in AEW's attempt to make Garcia a made man. We'll see if it works out for them. Jerry, we'll wrap it up with you now with your thoughts.
We're not getting dancing Garcia at this point. We are getting Red Death Garcia. And I think they're really going to start pushing him to be not really a main event player, but at least in title contention at this point. And MJF is going to get paid regardless. And if he can do that and put somebody else over at the same time, of course he's going to do it. So I'm going to say Garcia is going to win this one. But chances are he won't do it alone. I think Matt Menard will show up and like play a factor in it. So,
all right, there you have it. Dwayne, you're once again the odd man out. There you go.
Probably won't be the last.
It feels different.
Yeah, usually it's Jerry who's the odd man out with these predictions. But hey,
give it time. There's still like 5 more matches.
Yeah.
So.
All right, so let's move on here. Okay, well, the fact is, I feel like almost all these remaining matches, with the exception of one, I'm gonna say this right now. I feel like we're all going to be unanimous with all these matches, but the last one, maybe all of them. Let's get to them. All right. So next up, we have the AEW World Tag Team Title match. The Young Bucks, or as Matthew likes to say in the chat room, Rod and Todd Flanders, defending their tag team titles against Claudio and Wheeler Yuta. This match was just announced on Dynamite, and it's very much a throwaway match as far as I'm concerned. I have little to no interest in this match. I'm sure it'll be good. You got 4 good wrestlers in there. I don't care about the match. I don't care who wins. And I'd rather have a shorter show than this match be on the card. I like the idea of the tag team titles being on the line, but it just feels like it should be on Dynamite. Doesn't feel like a pay-per-view match. Young Bucks win. I got nothing else to say on it. TJS, what do you think?
I said Bucks versus BCC feels fresh, which is true because I don't think we've seen this match. But like you said, Aaron, this is a TV match. Bucks win. That's it.
Yeah. Yuta takes the fall. I mean, I think that's pretty obvious. Dwayne, what do you think?
I agree. Move on.
Okay, perfect. Jerry.
Yeah, they need to keep the gold on the Bucks right now, and since Claudio and Wheeler are already like a trios champions, it's kind of pointless to put any more belts on them right now. So the Bucks will retain.
I wonder if there'll be a CM Punk chant, or then they'll get drowned out with boos, and then there'll be the FCM Punk chant. I feel like CM Punk will be the star of this match.
No, that'll be the Jack Perry one still.
It might be both of them.
So wait, Aaron, are we
Took the words right out of my mouth, Jerry.
Are we doing a bonus point here if CM Punk shows up or not, Aaron?
I would not bet on CM Punk showing up at an AEW show at this point.
Maybe in attendance, just kind of sitting up in the rafters.
You know what? I don't know if you guys heard this story that years ago, Scott Steiner was actually banned from the Hall of Fame, and they actually had to put up a picture at the front of the arena to let the staff know, if you see this guy, don't let him in the building. They probably have that for CM Punk. Like, there's a picture of him from the press conference when he was eating the muffin. And I don't think he's going to be there.
This man does not work with children. Don't let him.
Do not let this man.
All right, moving on here. So that's one match we all agreed on, and I think we will agree on this next one. We have the TBS Championship. We got Mercedes Mone versus Hikaru Shida, and Kamille is banned from ringside.
Wow.
So, yeah, this might be a title change here. That makes all the difference in the world. Mercedes Mone has no chance now that Kamille is banned from ringside. Dwayne, I'll throw it over to you on this one. I don't really care about this match. Like, Shida's entertaining. Mercedes, she is what she is at this point. But I don't know. I'm not really feeling this one too much. What do you think, Dwayne?
I'm not feeling it either, man. But I'm more higher on Hikaru Shida than I am Mercedes. She just ain't done nothing for me, and all she does is just shake her hips and flaunt herself to me. I'm not invested in her whatsoever. But you got to go with Mercedes. They say she's got creative control. My guess is she probably has an undefeated streak coming. So who knows?
All right. Well, I agree with you on that. Mercedes wins, another notch on her belt, another win for her. What do you think, Jerry?
I think Okada comes out there and gives Shida the Rainmaker, and that's how Mercedes wins.
There you go. Because they're starting to have Okada and Mercedes on TV.
And he punctuates it by saying "bitch" to her before he leaves the ring.
Did Mercedes beat Shida already? I don't even remember that.
I don't think
She
so.
may have already.
Well, if that happened, I completely forgot about it. But we'll throw it over to TJS now. Maybe somebody in the chat room can figure that out for me. TJS, what are your thoughts on this?
Mercedes and Shida are both hot, but I don't care about this match. So
Hot as in looks or hot as in momentum?
Yes.
Yes.
We'll go with both and say
One of them has momentum, but they're both hot, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I really don't care, but Mercedes wins. I mean, this is probably the most. Well, I won't say that. This is one of the most predictable matches on this card, I think. Yeah.
Well, get this. So, betting odds: Mercedes is a minus 10,000 favorite, which is very significant when it comes to betting odds.
I don't know what that means.
I mean, it's about as high of a favorite as
that's how
possible.
you can go when it comes to odds betting. They don't get no higher than 10,000.
Really? Okay. Well, you guys mentioned
it doesn't mean that you got to bet an X amount of money to get. But
basically, for the favorites, the number represents the amount of money you would need to risk in order to win $100. So you would have to risk $10,000 and then get $100 potentially.
So you would bet 10,000 on Mercedes and then win 100, or the other way around?
Correct. You'd win 100.
Yeah.
And then on the flip side, so Shida is plus 2,000. So for the underdog, if you risk $100 and Shida wins, you get $2,000.
I might put my money on Shida. No, not really.
Well, basically, with the way the odds are, it's like you're throwing away money.
Yeah.
I think with her, it'll be all.
Go with the one with the minus signs.
Yeah. Well, if
I
it
think
was
with her, it'll
closer,
probably be all post match. I think we'll have somebody either debut or maybe Kamille comes out for another attack, and then it sets up for another match with somebody else. So,
yeah.
I'll tell you, there is one match where I think you can win some money by betting on the underdog as of this time. But let's move on here. So we were all unanimous on that one. Again, no surprise on that. Let's move on here to the next match. We got the International Championship. We got Will Ospreay versus Pac, Neville, Adrian Neville, whatever the hell you want to call him. He's got so many names. Mighty Mouse.
The man that gravity forgot.
Yes, the bastard. The bastard, Pac. So anyways, this is another match. Same odds. Minus 10,000 for Will Ospreay to retain the championship. Should be a hell of a match. I mean, it could be a match of the year contender, but I don't think anybody in their right mind believes that Pac has a snowball chance in hell of winning. So, Jerry, I'll start with you. What do you think? Any shot?
The only way I would think this match should go any other way is if Ricochet was added in and made it a triple threat match. So since that's not going to be the case, Will Ospreay is going to retain, but it's going to be an awesome match with a bunch of kicks and flips.
Yeah, I mean, it'll probably get 5+ stars. It'll be a hell of a match, but yeah, Ospreay just won the title back. So as a guy who we should not name, there's no chance in hell that Pac is going to win this one, or Pac. I just don't like that name because nobody knows how to pronounce it.
And you also have the fact that
Pac, that's what he calls it.
Pac?
He's also part
X-Pac.
Like X-Pac, but he doesn't have the X.
But I thought it was X-Pac.
Anytime you hear him pronounce it, it's always Pac.
All right, so it's not X-Pac. All right, Dwayne, what do you think about this match?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Ospreay, bro.
Simple as that.
Ospreay.
All right. TJS.
Pac versus Ospreay has match of the year potential, is what I wrote. So I think that's very true. This is going to be a good match. It's going to go 30 minutes. There's going to be tons of near falls. It's going to be a wrestling match. Like you said, Aaron, it's going to get 5.5 stars, but very predictable. Yeah, 6 stars maybe. Ospreay wins. Although eventually you have to get the title off of Ospreay. I wonder if Ricochet is going to be the guy that beats him.
Could be. Yeah, it's more likely him than Pac.
Wasn't there a match on this card where you were asking why are they getting a title match if they just lost at the last pay-per-view? And then you said something like, someone pointed out to you that one of these guys won a very important match on Collision.
Yes.
You know which match was that?
That was Kyle Fletcher versus Will Ospreay, or not Will Ospreay, Okada for the Continental title, because Kyle Fletcher beat Ishii on Collision.
Yeah, you said Ishii has never won a singles.
He hasn't. I looked it up on the Pro Fight database. The only time he wins is when it's like a 6-man tag team match. That's the only time he wins, or at the All In show when he was in a tag match with Stokely Hathaway. That is when Ishii picks up the victories, when Stokely Hathaway is in the damn match.
Let me guess.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but I had to go back and rechange that prediction.
But Kyle Fletcher beat him, so Kyle Fletcher earned that championship opportunity against Okada.
Wasn't somebody on X that pointed out, they're like, actually, Kyle Fletcher won a match on Collision against Ishii.
Yes.
Oh, my God, yeah. But, yeah, Ospreay wins. Easy.
All right. So there you go. We all agree on that one. And now we move on to the World Championship match. And as much as I loved Bryan Danielson's win at All In, I gave it heavy praise. I said it was his best career moment. Man, I do not care about this match with Jack Perry. And this is another match where I would not be shocked if the crowd starts chanting CM Punk during it. Like, it would not surprise me if that happens. Danielson is a minus 10,000 favorite. We have another match. Bryan Danielson, a very heavy favorite. I mean, 0 chance Perry's winning. If anybody's beating Bryan, it's either Swerve or maybe Darby Allin, you know, with the Wrestle Dream show coming up. I mean, Bryan at the very least is going to have that title until Wrestle Dream in Tacoma. So Bryan wins. Match should be good, but I do not care about Jack Perry at this stage of the game, nor do I care about the burned up TNT title that he has, or whatever the hell he did to the title. I don't care about it. Dwayne, throw it over to you now.
This is an easy match to predict, but one question that has been failed to brought up is Christian Cage going to tease a cash-in?
Oh, yeah.
So, I don't know how this is going to be. I don't see him doing something like that on regular TV. I think we'll say something like that, probably for a bigger show. However, you know, Daniel's going to win this one. He just won the title, man. He ain't going to lose it this quick after one title defense. He sure as hell ain't going to lose it to freaking Jack Perry of all people. So, you know, either way, Daniel Bryan's walking out with the title.
Yeah, I mean, they might try to do some teases with Perry possibly coming real close and fans thinking there's going to be a screw job just because of all the heat that there'll be. I'm sure this match will be very loud. The question is, will there be the CM Punk chance or not? TJS, what do you think?
I said seeing Perry in Chicago will be something. So, I mean, that if I feel like if this show was not in Chicago, this wouldn't be the match.
Yeah.
And Tony Khan is just like, oh, this is such good heat. The guy that got CM Punk fired, we're gonna put him on the Chicago show. But honestly, Punk got sent home to WWE because of Perry. So in my eyes, Perry's a big baby face. I'm glad that Perry did what he did. So I feel like Danielson's run is going to get Cody syndrome if he doesn't have a credible opponent after this. So Bryan wins. That's it.
I mean, it should be entertaining just for the crowd reactions alone.
Yeah.
Jerry, what do you think?
I think what we're going to end up having is like pretty much a Stone Cold Bret Hart kind of finish where Jack Perry does not tap out to Bryan Danielson, but he passes out and maybe a LaBelle lock or the cow mutilation even. He may even just pull that out. But either way, Jack Perry's going to lose, but he's going to lose almost in a credible way to try to keep a little bit of shine on him. Because they're actually pretty high on him right now, and I think it's some of the best work he's done since he's been in the company. They actually give him the reins, let him to do like this whole scapegoat character, and I like it. I think it's great. So, but yeah, Jack Perry's going to lose this match, and like Dwayne said, I wouldn't be shocked if like Christian somehow gets involved, or maybe just shows up on the ramp at the end of the match, just kind of tease, like cash in kind of thing. But otherwise, we're having Bryan Danielson retain.
All right, there you have it. We got one match left to discuss. We got the main event of the show. It's not the world title match, but it is the steel cage lights out match, which means it's unsanctioned. All hell is going to break loose. Swerve Strickland versus Hangman Page in one of the most intense feuds in AEW history, maybe the most intense feud in the history of the company. It's been going on now for roughly a year. And we've seen some violent moments with these two. And then on Dynamite, we had a great cliffhanger where Adam Page literally set the house on fire that belonged to Swerve's family when Swerve was growing up. Swerve bought it back with his AEW bonus when he signed a new contract. And then Page burned it up as the final segment of Dynamite heading into this show. This, to me, is by far the most interesting match of the entire show. It's going to be a spectacle. It's going to be violent. It's going to be chaotic. And I expect it to be one of the best matches in AEW history. They have a lot of pressure, but I think they will deliver on this one. But the question is, who is going to emerge victorious on this one? Jerry, I'll start with you on this one and get your thoughts.
I think we're going to get a Hangman Page victory. I think Swerve's going to let his emotions get the best of him, and like it's just going to cost him. That and it'll give Swerve time to go off camera for a little bit, and like Hangman Page, I think will get more involved back with the Elite again, and hopefully make a run at probably Bryan Danielson's title. And that's when you have Swerve return and cost Adam Page it, and it's like almost like this circle of violence and revenge that's going to keep on going. And that's going to be like the main feud for AEW, or the one everybody looks back on and says, okay, that was like, that was their Austin versus McMahon. That was their Ricky Steamboat versus Ric Flair. That's going to be the rivalry that people look back on at AEW and say, okay, that's the one that's the most memorable, because it's growing in viciousness. And I knew something was going to happen to that house the second I saw that promo like earlier that day get posted. I was like, okay, nothing's in there. And like they're announcing it right before like a match. Something's going to happen to that house. And
Right.
I was happy for that. I won't say I was happy for that to happen, but it still made for like one of the best television segments I think I've seen in a very, very long time. So, but I think we get the victory to Hangman at this point, and then you have an even sicker side of Swerve Strickland come out like as time goes on.
What are they going to do to top their previous matches? Dwayne, what can possibly done in this match to up the ante? You know, expectations are going to be very high for this one. What do you think they can do here?
Bro, all I can tell you is you take the intensity they have from their first 2 matches and times it by 100 probably. They're going to kill each other. That's just all. I mean, either way, whoever wins, neither man is probably going to be walking out of this match. I think they're both going to be carried out. There may be a decisive or there may not be. I don't know how AEW does the lights out rules. I just know that it's like a non-sanctioned match and whatnot. So I don't know how this could possibly end. You know, but I agree with Jerry. This has to go to Hangman. Just if anything else, the betting odds. Swerve's won their first 2 matches, so Hangman's the devil's going to come out of him, and he's just going to absolutely annihilate Swerve somehow, and he's going to pull at his heartstrings because he knows exactly what to do to get him to screw up, and that's probably what he's going to do. So my bet is it's going to be Hangman Adam Page.
All right, there you have it. That's 2 for Page. Brett Cook sent in a $10 Canadian super chat. Thank you, Brett. He says, I could take down Jungle Boy and submit him within 5 minutes. You know what? To be fair, I think most of us can. Probably not me, but I think Jerry definitely could. Jerry's tall. Jerry is – how tall are you?
6'5", 6'6", and about
so I ain't gonna mess around with you, Jerry. You know, you could knock somebody out, probably kill somebody with your bare hands. So, if it was you versus Jungle Boy, I'd pick you every day of the week. Shoot, fight too. And
Jerry beats up Luke Perry's son. Great.
But anyways, thank you for the super chat, Brett.
Think of the views you would get for that one, Jerry. Think of all the views you'd probably get for that one.
Oh, that'd be glorious.
I mean, Jerry, you're probably taller than 95% of the AEW roster. Not that height means everything.
I'd say 96, but yes.
Yeah, or 94. It's roughly in that ballpark. Anyways, so the betting odds right now are favoring Hangman Adam Page by a small margin. It's not huge, but Adam Page is a minus 300 favorite. And this is the match where I disagree with the betting odds. And if you want a legit shot at making money, I say bet on Swerve Strickland, and here's why. Swerve lost the world title at All In the main event. I don't see him losing 2 big pay-per-view main events in a row. It rarely happens. That's one reason. And the second reason is the ending. With Adam Page doing that to his house, setting it on fire, that is the huge moment there that Adam Page gets one over on Swerve. So you're going to have Swerve lose the title, his house burned down, and then he loses again. Now, they could do a storyline where he hits rock bottom and maybe comes back from it, but Swerve, if the reports are true, he just signed a new contract. He's one of the highest paid guys in the company. He's the future. I think Swerve's winning this one. I feel pretty confident on it that they'll end the pay-per-view with a happy ending. And this has to be the end of the feud. I don't see them doing yet another match after this one. And another reason, I think the good guy has to win the feud. So I am going with Swerve for those reasons. I think it's good money. This is one case where I think the underdog has a great shot of winning it. So TJS, I'll throw it over to you now. I could be the odd man out. What do you think?
Well, I wrote that I am most excited for this match, and that's the truth.
Yes.
Real quick, I just want to talk about the angle last night. I think that the way that was shot, where Hangman didn't have a camera crew with him, he was filming himself, so I felt like it was not overproduced or anything like that, and his delivery was great. That really made me turn around on Hangman because I've always been just kind of on him, but this new heel character with the mustache, I think he's doing the work of his career. New theme and everything. Yeah, I love it. So He burned down the house. By the way, guys, do you think this was the shoot house? You think it's the real house that he burned down?
I mean, they could have just bought a random house and said it was Swerve's house just for the,
Oh yeah,
for the
that's
angle.
what I'm thinking happened.
Yeah.
I wonder where they would go to do this. You know what I mean? Like, would they have to be somewhere out in the country or something to be able to burn down
Sure.
a house?
Soundstage.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay, but yeah. Amazing segment. This is, like I said, this is pretty much what sold me on the show. And I like that this is a cage match because that feels old school to me.
Yeah.
Because, you know, usually in cage matches we end up getting the interference and whatnot, and the whole point of a cage match is defeated usually. But here, I think it's going to be clean. There's not going to be any interference. Two guys that you believe that these guys legitimately hate each other, and they're just going to kill each other, like you guys said. That being said, I agree with Aaron. I cannot see Swerve losing after he just got his house burned down. That would be character assassination at that point. To have, they really, built up Swerve. He beat Ospreay, and I think that's a big deal. This guy was Hit Row in WWE, the leader of Hit Row. So he's come a long way. He's come a long way, and the show ends happily, like you said, Aaron. Swerve wins.
Should be a hell of a match, and the fact that we're split on it makes it more intriguing. Like, you really don't feel too confident. Like, it could really go either way.
Okay, quick question though. Which is the better blood feud at this point, Strickland and Page or McIntyre and Punk?
Well, blood feud, I would say Swerve and Page.
I don't know about that.
That's one of the very few situations where AEW is actually winning against WWE. I think it's the fact that they actually keep Swerve and Page relevant and and keep it escalating to the point where we can actually say that where that's actually better than Drew McIntyre and CM Punk.
Well, yeah. So
The
here's
thing about that though is they're making a freaking bracelet seem
exactly
more bigger than a damn title shot. So that's what I think. Punk and McIntyre.
We see your bracelet. We raise a childhood home.
I mean, the argument can be made that Punk and McIntyre are doing more with less, and they're able to create a compelling storyline without damn near murdering each other. Legit, having to use a stapler on somebody and damn near kill yourself to have an entertaining match. These guys can be more creative with just how they interact with each other.
Well, like I said, you take those feuds, you just go. There ain't no really. They're just about even almost.
Yeah.
So viciousness. We're looking at Page and Strickland, but like creativity wise, you're looking at McIntyre and Punk.
Yeah, because Punk and McIntyre, they could have a hell of a match with thumbtacks and barbed wire and stapler guns. If you pull that stuff out into the mix, of course, it's going to be an entertaining spectacle to watch, but it's not necessarily the most creative thing.
I'll be interested to see if this match or if the Punk versus McIntyre Hell in a Cell can top this. I think that's a good way that we can compare. I'm also wondering
for it.
Yeah, I'm wondering if there's going to be any weapons in this match. I hope it's not just inside of a cage with no weapons.
It probably will be. I'm thinking that they're going to do the thing. I feel like they'll pull the ring apart and expose the boards, and they'll probably pull things from under the ring. So you're going to have your weapons.
You'll have Nana shoving stuff into the ring through the bars and whatnot. Too.
Yeah, they'll probably have a screwdriver and various tools, and then the crowd will chant "You sick F." They gotta top it. So they're probably gonna drink each other's blood like they did that one time.
That's the match. Oh yeah, I forgot.
Yeah. So wait, it's lights out. So does that mean that the whole escaping the cage won't get you to win? You actually have to win by pinfall or submission?
Probably.
So that they'd easily exit the cage.
Lights out basically is what, a non-sanctioned match?
It's just non-sanctioned, meaning AEW is not responsible in storyline if anybody gets seriously hurt. So it's going to be a hell of a match. So we wrapped up the 8 matches. I'm sure there'll be more, but that's all we're covering tonight. Let's go ahead and do our plugs. Thank you to the No DQ panel, and thank you to everybody for watching. Dwayne, anything you would like to plug or promote?
Enjoy the pay-per-view, because I know I will be. You can find me on Facebook at Dwayne Atkinson. You can find me on Twitter, which I'm rarely on, Florida Gator fan. Other than that, man, it's been great. I'll see you guys next time.
All right, thank you for that, Dwayne. Jerry, what you got for us?
You follow me on Twitter at journal_JSJ or my Facebook group Armbar, all capital, ARMBAR ! That's where you'll find me mostly. I very seldomly ever on Twitter, and my Instagram is pretty much just a bunch of meals I've made. So it's going to be a fun show, and thank you for having me on.
Absolutely. And TJS, always a pleasure. You made it tonight. We appreciate you. Anything you would like to plug or promote?
Well, I just want to say that for some reason I thought Dwayne's last name was Atkinson with an N until like just now. I thought it was Atkinson. So I'm very sorry, Dwayne. I don't know why I thought that, but I legitimately did. Yeah, I should have read it. I'm sorry.
Atkinson.
Yes. That's
yeah.
That's my bad. That's on me. You can follow me on X at True. At TYL.
Are you giggling?
Come on now, you wanted 45 minutes.
Yeah, I'm
okay. Noah's not here. So
have you ever seen the Beavis and Butthead episode No Laughing? Well, this is no giggling.
But hey, you know what, Aaron? I will tell you this real quick. I was just at a gas station before this video, and the cashier's name, his name tag said Beavis. I'm not kidding.
Oh, there you go. Well, he might be a legit inspiration for the fictional character. You never know.
He might be. But yeah, follow me on X, TYLRJSPHSMTH. And that's it. Thanks for having me, as always. Support AEW. We do not, contrary to popular belief, no one on this panel wants to see them fail.
Fair enough.
Competition is healthy. It drives the business. So that's it.
Yeah, so hopefully AEW delivers. The main event should be a classic.
Is the show sold out? Do you know?
No, it is not sold out. It's the sign of the times, but maybe AEW can turn things around and get those numbers up. If you're in Chicago, I would say buy a ticket. Like even though the card doesn't have the most intrigue, I think it will deliver. AEW always seems to deliver on pay-per-view. Yeah. So if you're in Chicago, you could probably buy a ticket last minute and get in for $20-$30.
Might as well.
Pac versus Ospreay alone is going to be worth watching live. So that'd be a treat, because that's going to be one of those ones that are probably going to end up going viral. Yeah,
if you can get a cheap ticket, I mean, it might end up being cheaper than if you could probably just show up to the box office and avoid the Ticketmaster fees. And you could probably buy a ticket that's cheaper than ordering the pay-per-view at this point. Like if you just go the day of the show, go to the box office, just say, what's the cheapest ticket you have available? And they might give you like a $30 or $40 ticket. Yeah. And it's not a huge arena, so there's probably not a bad seat in the house.
Yeah. The cage match, I mean, I'd probably buy the show for the cage match alone at this point.
Yeah, I mean, it should be worth the money just for that match alone. But anyways, guys, we'll wrap this up. Thank you all again. Stay tuned to NoDQ.com for results coverage this weekend. Say yes to NoDQ.com, and we will see you all next time.